All right, the next thing that needs to be touched on here with the setup of what we have done to configure this mixing board with the house, and I'll bring it up here where you can see the house of what we've got. Down here on this side and this side we have two sets of subs on each side, and then our mains are up high, they're flying. And so what we've done, we are using a pair of S16s and a digital snake to connect with that and with the stage inputs. And I'll show you real quickly how we've done that. If we go here to routing, see if I can do that and hold the camera without making you throw up. We can bring that in. These are the S16s, and so inputs 1 through 8 are in A, 1 through 8, 9 through 12, and 17 through 24, and it's all in blocks of 8. You have to do it in blocks of 8, and then the last 8, because it's a 32 input board, we are keeping that local here. If you can see here, the inputs 25 through 32 are local, and we're reserving that for the house mics that we have here by the board, and then the wireless transmitters or transceivers right here, and they're going in right back here. We'll move around here, and you can see these are our house mics that we're picking up the ambience of the room, and then the 3 channels of local that are the wireless mics here. All right, that's the way we have it hooked up. And then our auxiliary sends and returns, this is auxiliary in coming from an iPhone or a playback of some kind of iPod here. And then this is an input auxiliary 1 and 2 that's coming from our Mac that runs our video equipment, so we can play back sound from the video. And then underneath here is the auxiliary out, which is sending sound to the Mac for recording the sermon, etc. All right, back over here now. One thing I want to show you is what we've done to set up this board the most efficiently with the house system. We have decided to use some matrix here, and so what a matrix is it's a mix of these buses, and so this is a matrix. This is 1 and 2 right now, and we're not really using these for anything special. But what we've done is on this, we have the main matrix left and right. These are a stereo pair that we have linked together, and if you'll see here, if I move these up and down, they move together. And we're running them about -5 right now. And then these are 2 sets of subs on 2 different amps, and we had to do this because we have 2 different sets of sub speakers right now, and we were having a phase problem, and these 2 subs on each side were out of phase with each other, and so we were able to solve that by just creating 2 sub matrices. And I'll show you up here on the EQ, if I select the main left and right, and then I go up here and I hit home, then you're going to see here that the bottom of the mains is rolled off at, and I'm going to hit view here. This gives a closer up version, and you'll see that the bottom is rolled off at 104.4, and we're using a BU, that's Butterworth 24 decibel per octave crossover. And so that's rolling all from 101.4 down off of the mains. And then of course, and so if we, that's the left side, and if I select the right side, you'll see up here it says main left. If I select the right side, it says main right, and it's done exactly the same way. All right. Now if I go back down here and select sub 1, these are set up exactly the same except for one difference, and that's we had to invert the phase. So if we notice here, it's exactly the same thing but opposite. Up here at the high, we have a Butterworth 24 high pass filter, and we have it set at 101.4. So this is going to the sub, and it's rolling everything above 101.4 off of the sub. And you can see here it says sub, and if I hit the other sub, that sub for small sub, it's a little bit smaller cabinet, so we just noted it so it would make sense to us. And so that's how we're doing that. And then we found by listening that the subs were out of phase with each other. And so what we had to do then was to go to the configuration. If I take right here the page and page over, here you'll see, okay, it's not there. All right. Well, there's a place where you can invert the phase, or you can just do it here, like all we have to do is, if I select this sub here, the small sub, then I go right over here, it's selected, and I go over here, right here to this button, this inverts it and creates an opposite signal. And by doing that, we were able to put the speakers in phase with each other where they're not out of phase. So that's kind of what we did. Now, in order for this to play, these have to be up at relatively somewhere about this level. And of course the main has to be up also. And without that, no sound will be coming out because it's going through these matrix to the main fader. And we can adjust how much sub we're sending relative to the mains by moving these a little bit. But they need to be somewhere in the vicinity of right in there is where we believe they sound the best. All right? That's somewhat what we're doing in setup.